All right. So hi there. I'm Bobby Krogan. I'm a designer with OPX here in DC. I wanted to speak with someone who has decided to go back to the office and see what their experiences, what their anxieties are. I thought I'd interview Jon Glass. He does a lot of videos, if you haven't seen him. So he's great at this. He's a real estate strategist at Savills, a lot here in DC. He specializes in representing office tenants to find and negotiate office space. He's been a tenant advisor for 13 years all in the DC area. He has a lot of clients, including law firms, associations, nonprofits, and technology companies. So thank you, Jon, for willing to do this.
That's my pleasure.
Did I miss anything out of there?
You kept all the good stuff. There's some bad stuff we probably could have included, but that was pretty good.
Okay, I won't go into that then. So good deal. So I wanted to talk to you about, you said you went back into the office, and obviously you're home now, later in the day, but you ventured back into the office. Why did you decide to make that move from working from home?
Sure. Well, firstly, like all companies, Savills strictly adheres to the recommendations and protocols mandated by the governing authority. So as part of DC's easement into phase 2, we were able to reopen our office, excuse me, at 25% capacity. Right. But well before that election, we, our business leaders and workplace professionals at Savills were working tirelessly to prepare a very comprehensive, thoughtful return to the office plan that put the health and safety of our employees first and foremost. So, you know, look, I'm in the business of office space, and this is something I'm passionate about. I think the office is important for the productivity for companies, and many of our clients are looking to us for guidance on how to lay out effective return to work plans for them. So, you know, I felt it was important to, you know, live by the playbook that we are recommending to several of our clients, and also the trust that I have with our leadership and our colleagues and the plan that was set about. We were all required to take a pretty rigorous online course. In order to even opt in to return to the office place, we had to take an exam and score 100% of the exam. And so once I really saw the detailed plan and felt comfortable with it, spoke with my family about going in a couple times a week, you know, do everything within my power to be as careful as possible. I thought it was, you know, it was prudent to go in on a temporary basis, and it's so far so good.
That's great that they kind of had to make you take a little educational course.
Yes.
That really helps point out to everyone the seriousness of this, but the being relaxed and knowing that everyone understands all the same protocols and knows how to go back into the office safely again, instead of leaving it up in the air to everyone to figure it out.
I think there's a big trust factor that goes into it. Just leaving your house is a trust factor, but you can only control so much of your own actions. And you know, so far everybody's been very strict in the protocols and adhering to them in the office. They've been very respectful of personal space. You know, we have markings all over the carpet in terms of one circulation. There's several parts of our office that are closed off to minimize interaction, and you know, everybody's being very careful. So it's certainly a serious matter. And to be clear, nobody was required to return to the office. It's been a personal decision. We have about 70 people or so in our DC office, and I would say maybe on any given day there's 10 to 12 people in there. And you know, I think another thoughtful thing that the company did was every Thursday, if you have elected to opt in, part of this phase, every Thursday an email gets circulated to the employees with the following week's schedule. So you say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, what days do you want to be in the office? And you select which days you want to be in there, and then they calculate, is the aggregate under 25%.
Right. And part of your decision to go back to office too, was that a little bit more of being able to be social with your colleagues as well?
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, yeah, I think, look, we've all done as much as we can virtually like this. And certainly we can be productive. We've proven that. But I think the innate brainstorming and strategy and connection and ideas and productivity that you gain from personal interaction, even if it is at a 6-foot distance, is hard to replicate. And so, we have a lot of ongoing deals that require the input from my team. And so being in an environment where we're all together has been very productive.
Right. You miss the use of body language from a lot of over the air calls and stuff that you would normally get in the office for reactions on things. So that's very important.
And we just hired another person to our team, and the ability to be there for him, to mentor, and for him to learn. I mean, it's really hard when you're in a consultancy practice like ours. I know I wouldn't be where I am today professionally if I was limited to Zoom. I mean, there's just so much organic wisdom that you get, at the quote unquote water cooler.
Right.
And so being there and kind of relying on the other professionals in the office has been helpful.
Good, good. And you mentioned some precautions that you made in returning to the office, the survey. You go into the office, when you go into the office, do you come, bundled with masks, with your hand sanitizer, with antibacterial spray? Is there this big package you take every day?
Well, our office was very thoughtful in providing a lot of that for us. That's already at the office waiting for us. But we also, I also bring a personal supply as well. Our lunches, we're encouraged to bring our own, our coffee mugs, our water mugs. So, look, I take the same precautions. A lot of it comes down to common sense.
Yeah.
And, and averting from self-centeredness, and it's you're very cautious about your behaviors, and then you work in concert with your colleagues who are also being very cautious, then it can be a very successful recipe. But look, I have a family. I have a 2-year-old. The last thing I want to do is put them in jeopardy, and so I'm very thoughtful. But again, like if you're going to the grocery store, you're going outside for a walk, you wear your mask and you keep your distance, and you do everything within your power to make sure that you're not putting yourself or others in jeopardy.
You come home from the day, you scrub all down before you hug the family and going out with your business.
It's like, back off. I gotta wash my hands.
Because that was a big concern about people going back to work and then coming home, or going, taking your children to school or coming back, is the transference. So I feel like some parents are totally stripping down their clothes and changing and doing showers but whatever makes you feel comfortable about coming back to your family, because that's the last thing you want to worry about, I guess, during this part. But well, that's great. One of the things that I've found out from a lot of people is it's really about the anxiety about going back to work. Whether you're doing public transportation, obviously there's more anxiety there. If you're commuting by car in a single-use car, then you're not as worried, because that's your own germs in that car. But the anxiety isn't just about catching something, but when you're going back to the office and you see all these arrows and you see all these signs that you're walking everywhere, and oops, you may have turned the wrong way. Oh, you bumped into somebody. I got to go wash down. And is that like a cloud over you all day, just being anxious about what you're doing or where you got to go next in the office? Does it make you a little tired, or what does that anxiety feel like for you going back?
Look, I mean, it's certainly an adjustment. This is an unnatural human behavior. I mean, this whole pandemic is unnatural, and we all thrive for personal interaction. So it takes some mental reminders to, hey, often you're naturally going to you instinctively revert back to old behaviors. And like anything, over time, the more you do it, the more you become accustomed to the new reality that we're all living in. So, is there anxiety? Not really for me. Again, because of that trust that I go back to it with, that everything is in the appropriate place, and all the protocols have been established to help protect everybody. For me, it was mostly more of a sense of relief, again, because I think we're all holed up, and getting back to the office and seeing my colleagues was really exciting. So, walking down the office, seeing everybody in masks, now it's become, we're all a bit more used to it, just seeing on the street. Yeah. And hopefully more people around the world wear masks. But look, it's an adjustment. Use your common sense. You do with everything within your own power to minimize exposure, and that's all you can really do.
Okay. Well, That's really it. I appreciate you taking some time. Talk about your experience in going back to the office, as we all head back to the office whenever that may be, next month, next year, 2 years from now, whatever that may be. It's all crucial, like you said, that we trust each other, trust our colleagues, our leadership, and going back. And that like I said, can help reduce your anxiety about getting back to the office. So I appreciate your time. Any last words of wisdom?
No, I think everybody needs to make a decision and a plan that's best for their personal well-being. And that's all you can really do. And if anybody needs any help preparing strategic, thoughtful plans, I'm happy to be a resource. I know you're a great resource as well. And there's a lot of good materials and white paper that your office and my office has released. So other than that, just hopefully we can keep this positive trend and we don't, revert back to kind of, levels where everybody's being overexposed and we have to be shelter in place again. So, one day at a time.
Great. All right. Thanks, Jon. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Bobby.